Hello and welcome to Virtual Simulated Persons, supporting the shift to online learning. This presentation is about how our lab, SimXSpace, helps support continued experiential education with the sudden shift to online learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are an interconnected collective of labs at York University geared toward exploring, implementing, and evaluating innovation and research focused on experiential education in Canada and internationally. Our work includes a diverse range of disciplines within simulation research and brings together multiple disciplinary expertise across sectors beyond the healthcare realm, including but not limited to health, informatics, engineering, computer science, arts, education, and more. One modality of experiential education is simulation. Simulation training methodology, broadly a technique that attempts to recreate characteristics of the real world, is one suggested strategy for enhancing critical thinking, decision making, problem solving, and crisis management skills. Simulation person methodology is a type of simulation that uses specially trained individuals to play roles in custom tailored scenarios designed to meet learning objectives and provide realistic practice. An SP is trained to reproduce scenarios by providing specific information, signs, and behaviors, and by creating a realistic encounter in a consistent manner. In follow up debriefings, SPs are trained to provide learners with feedback about their professional manner, attitude, and interpersonal skills, thus promoting individualized rather than standardized learning. This feedback is immediate, specific, and from the person's point of view. The COVID-19 pandemic dramatically changed education delivery worldwide. The resultant rise of e learning and use of digital platforms has extensively impacted education organizations at all levels around the world. As learning transitioned online, the need for new and innovative virtual learning modalities was evident. To properly support learner success and support the transition of graduates to the practice setting and workplace, creative solutions were critical. The shift to online interactions has increased the need for telecommunication and teleconsultation. It is therefore essential to develop communication and interpersonal skills through virtual mediums in order to support the increasing need for these interactions. One approach to support this change in education delivery is the use of virtual simulation approaches. Our team at SimXSpace has adopted an alternative approach to provide simulation through the use of virtual simulated persons, or VSPs, and to extend the application of simulation across a number of disciplines and beyond the higher education milieu where it's currently underutilized. Our VSPs are specially trained to provide learners with feedback about their mannerisms, body language, depth of explanation of crucial areas, and approaches to sensitive content during the encounter. Virtual simulation has successfully mended the gap, offering learners valuable experiential education online. Learners agree that virtual simulation is engaging and has helped to build confidence, better preparing them for the practice setting. Teachers have found that virtual simulation helps to facilitate learners' critical thinking and self reflection, and that it better prepares graduates for practice in complex workplace environments. Traditionally, communication offline relies on both parties being in a room together. There are many complicated and subliminal cues in body language that contribute to the interactive nature of communication. In a virtual simulation, however, the view of a participant is limited by the field of view of that participant's webcam. Therefore, certain body language habits that are effective in face to face communication may not be transmitted or may go unnoticed in virtual simulation. For example, participants may lean in, demonstrating interest and engagement, but this gesture may move outside of the web camera's field of view. The attention given to how the VSP's camera is presented sets the upper limit of what nonverbal cues can be picked up on. Having the VSP wear clothes that are in contrast with the background facilitates better body positioning, and positioning the camera further back or using a wider lens also allows for more of the communicator's body to be viewed. Furthermore, not all video devices are ideally located close to the eye line, which approximates but does not replace eye contact. To establish eye contact, the participant must look directly into the lens of the webcam. not into the other participant's eyes on the screen. Looking into the lens facilitates the feeling of engagement for the receiver of the video, but disrupts the engagement of the caster. This effect is more clearly observed with technology where built in webcams are located between the keyboard and screen or are off center. We also acknowledge the possibility that access to a stable internet connection can be a limiting factor. An unexpected drop in the video feed could break the immersive experience of the simulation. If the participants are emotionally engaged and the simulation and support suddenly drop, it'll prevent timely debriefing, impede the immersive factor, and create frustration among users. Whenever possible, we suggest using a wired internet connection instead of Wi Fi. Our team at SimXSpace currently offers VSBs to support communication and interpersonal skills among learners using Zoom, an online video conferencing platform. We provide virtual workshops to faculty and staff who are interested in implementing this methodology into their coursework or for faculty development purposes. To learn more about virtual simulated persons and how to embed this methodology into your teaching learning context, or to sign up for one of our virtual workshops, visit us at www.simxspace.com. In closing, here's a brief video we made demonstrating a VSP interaction, how it fits into the current online education climate of today, and how you can access our lab. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought unprecedented challenges to the education sector, essentially moving all learning to an online format. To keep learners engaged and the quality of education high, it is clear that innovation is now more important than ever. At SimXSpace, we've risen to the challenge and are proud to offer quality online experiential education opportunities across all disciplines. In the following example, the learner is a first-year phys ed teacher who has been asked to talk to Mrs. Jones, the mother of 15-year-old Aaron. Mrs. Jones wants to talk about why Aaron didn't make the basketball team. The learner's objectives are to demonstrate the use of active listening skills, particularly the use of open-ended questions, use of silence, and verbal acknowledgement of the parent's emotional state. Let's take a look at how these learners tackle these objectives.
Hi, Mrs. Jones. I'm Sam Thomas, Aaron's phys ed teacher.
What do you have against my son? Aaron is an excellent basketball player. He's been in a competitive league for 4 years, and last year he was named most valuable player. He should be on the team.
Look, Mrs. Jones, calm down. I have nothing against your son, okay? We can't talk about this if you're going to yell at me.
Calm down? You want me to calm down? Who do you think you are? And what do you know about coaching anyway? You're just a first-year teacher. You obviously don't know anything.
Look, Mrs. Jones, I'm fully qualified to be a coach. And, okay, wait. Time out.
Okay, Sam. So you've timed out. How is this going for you?
Terrible. She's yelling at me.
Right. And how did you respond to that?
Not very well. I kind of yelled back and got really defensive. It's not how I wanted this to go.
Right. Okay, so let's take a look at the objectives again, the ones we talked about at the beginning of the scenario, and see if there are any other choices you might make in responding.
Well, I totally meant to acknowledge Mrs. Jones's feeling and use silence to give her a chance to explain why she was here, but I got caught up in the emotions and started yelling back at her.
Right. Would you like to go back in and try doing those things again and see how that goes?
Yes, I would like another crack at it.
Okay, let's try it again.
Okay, time in. Miss Jones, you sound really upset.
Upset doesn't even begin to tell you how angry I feel.
Yeah, well, can you tell me a little bit more about why you feel so angry?
Sure. Well, for starters, Aaron's dad is going to freak out when he finds out that Aaron didn't make the team. And that's going to make it hell at home. On top of the fact that if Aaron doesn't start hanging out with some other people, maybe the team or something like that, instead of these druggy friends that he's got right now, and start getting better marks, I don't know what's going to happen.
Let's skip to the
I
end
can't even tell
and
you
give
what
the
this has
learner
been
and
like
the
with
SP a
divorce.
chance to reflect on the
battle.
scenario with the facilitator and get some feedback.
Well, how did that go for you?
It went so much better the second time. I hardly had to say anything. I acknowledged that Mrs. Jones seemed upset. It just felt better.
Great. Let's turn to the SP and get some feedback from her.
Hi, Sam. I'm Susan. Thanks for your thoughts. Yeah, I did notice at the beginning of our interaction when you told me to calm down, I felt furious and defensive. And then later on, when you said that I seemed angry, I felt acknowledged. And then when you asked me to tell you a bit more about why I was feeling upset and gave me some silence to do that, I felt heard.
This is one of the many ways that we can help you bring experiential learning online. If you would like to learn more, visit us on the web at www.SimXSpace.com and fill out our contact form to help us get you started on your new virtual SP project.